Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. My name's Kaylin. I'm one of the admission counselors here. I'm just going to do a super brief introduction and just some housekeeping. So as a reminder, the session is being recorded. We'll be sending out the recording later on. If you are a interested student, please make sure you stay muted and you have your camera off throughout the webinar. We will have time at the end for questions, but you can submit questions throughout the webinar using the chat function below. And then I'm going to turn it over to Allie for everyone to introduce themselves.
Great. Thanks, Kaylin. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Stuart School of Business at Illinois Tech. Today, here's a little bit of an agenda for our session for the next hour. So we'll go through welcomes, like Kaylin said. We'll talk about academics at the Stuart School of Business, and then engagement. My name is Alexandra Case. I go by Allie. I am the Director of Enrollment Management and Marketing Strategy at the Stuart School of Business. So I work departmentally with our faculty, staff, current students, prospective students, on giving them information about our programs, helping them through the application process, working with undergraduate admissions, and then hosting all sorts of different events to get you familiar with our program so that you know that you're making the right choice for college. We'll shift over to the academic side of the house, and I'll pass it over to Program Director John Twombly.
Welcome. I got a question. Can the virus be transmitted through this medium here or not?
Jokes. He's got jokes, guys.
All right, I guess I can't. All right. Yeah, that's the worst thing about my classes. The two students will tell you that my sense of humor tends to go kind of crazy. I've been here at IIT for a fairly long time. My office hours, if you take a photo of this with your camera or something, you're welcome to come in and join me in the Zoom to 2 to 4:30 Mondays and Wednesdays, or any other time. You've got my email address. I am not only the program director, but I'm the advisor, right, to the undergraduate business majors and minors. So we will have some time together if you join us, and I hope you do. I'm going to leave it to Gazelle, I think.
Yes, great. Thanks, John. You're on mute.
Oh, hello, everyone. My name is Gazelle Haddadian. I'm Clinical Assistant Professor of Operations and Energy Management at Stuart. I teach both undergrad. I also teach in our marketing analytics and MBA programs. You have my email. Please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions.
Great. Next, we have two current students on the line, so I'll let them each introduce themselves. Ahmad, you want to go first?
Yeah, hello, everybody. My name is Ahmad Mohammed. I'm a third-year co-terminal finance major. I will let you know a little bit more about what I'm involved in towards the end of the presentation.
Thanks, Ahmad. Nayeli?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Nayeli Reina. I'm a second-year business administration major, and I'm planning on doing a co-terminal in marketing analytics. Like Ahmad said, we'll explain a little bit more on what that means later.
Perfect. So at Stuart, from an academic perspective, if you're a major at the Stuart School of Business, you do have the opportunity to kind of specialize in anything. So at Stuart, our specialization options are finance, applied economics, technological entrepreneurship, marketing analytics. And then you can also choose to maybe specialize in something outside of the business school. So something, let's say, in the life sciences, chemistry or physics, information technology, construction management, mechanical engineering, environmental management, or even computer science. So there's a lot of options for you here at the Stuart School of Business. A specialization is about 4 or 5 classes that make up your major, and it allows you to kind of think about these areas of like these specific areas through the lens of business. So it's a really cool opportunity. It's a little bit, like a concentration. You're specialized, your major is business, and then you specialize in a specific area.
All right, I'll take care of this. The entire curriculum is 126 credit hours. 51 of those are in the business core introduction to business, business computing, macroeconomics, microeconomics, financial accounting, managerial accounting, all sorts of wonderful things, including the final course, which is the capstone course. And as Ali said, the 5 courses and a business elective would constitute the specialization. So you've got the possibility here of specialization 15 and the business elective 6 classes in the field. They'll talk more about the co-terminal, but our 2 students here have specialized, one in marketing, one in finance, and they're using graduate courses to count. I'll talk about the IPRO a little bit later, but it's basically my job to sit down with you every semester and figure out a plan so that you get out of here as quickly or as slowly as you want. So basically,
absolutely great. And yeah, you know, it takes a lot of hard work. It's a very comprehensive business program with a lot of breadth as you think about understanding business administration and all of the educational components that move into that. But then you also kind of get to specialize in some areas and really dive deep into areas that you're really passionate about. First year highlights, Professor Haddadian is going to walk through that and then do a little bit of a mini lesson to expose you to some of the content that you'll learn here at Stuart.
So these are the courses that you are going to take in the first year. Business 100 is Introduction to Business. 151 is Macroeconomics. Out of these courses, I teach the Business 102, which is Computing Tools for Business Analysis. The focus of this course is on Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Access. It familiarizes basically you with the art and science of spreadsheet modeling and enhances and reinforces your analytical skills and the ability to intelligently use information. All right, Ali. You can go to next slide. Business 321, it's another course that I teach. This is a course about optimization and decision making. It shows you basically how successful executives make complex decisions considering the limited resources and restrictions that they face. It teaches you how to complement experiment and intuition with optimization. Through this course, you discover how optimization can make you a superior decision maker. So this is a small like an example of what you will learn in this class. So here we have this manufacturing facility that they produce softballs and baseballs for youth recreation leagues. Each softball costs $11 to produce and sells for $17. So the profit is $6 here. While each baseball, it costs $10.50 and it sells for $15. The material and labor that are required to produce each item, they are listed in this table, and also the availability of each resource. So for example, for a softball, it needs 5 ounces of leather, 4 ounces we need leather for baseball, and then we have 6,000 available. And then same thing for stitching, we need for softball 1 minute, for baseball is also 1 minute, we have 1,500 minutes. Now, the management, they need to decide how many of each ball they produce in order to maximize their profit. Whenever we face with this kind of problems, so we learn in the Business 321 how to formulate first the LP models. There are 5 steps that are involved with formulating LP models. First is to understand the problem, then to identify the decision variables. Can someone help me to identify the decision variables here? Ali, you can go back to the previous, yeah. So what are the decisions that we are trying to make here?
Yeah, and we have 2 students on the line, so feel free to jump in and unmute yourselves. We just want to have a little bit of interaction here if you're comfortable with it.
If
Yeah, of
not, maybe
course.
Nayali can help. Yes.
This was one of my favorite classes, guys. I love Professor
I'm
Hadia.
glad to hear that.
Don. Anyways, the two decision variables is the number of softballs that we'd like to produce and the number of baseballs that we'd like to produce.
Exactly. The third step is to state the objective function as linear combination of the decision variables. So what is the objective function here? What's our objective?
For to maximize profit.
Exactly. We are trying to maximize the profit. So if you go to the next slide, Ali, please. Ali, could you go to the next slide? Oh, go back. Okay, so as Nayali said, the decision variables are how many of each ball to produce, and then the objective function, as Ahmed said, is to maximize the profit. So profit for the softballs are $6, profit for baseballs are $4.50. Then we have some constraints. So the next step is to state the constraints as linear combination of decision variables. So we know that, for example, we have this much leather available. Each softball requires 5 ounces of leather, and then each baseball it requires 4. So then we state this constraint as a linear combination of our decision variables, which are x1 and x2. So 5x1 plus 4x2 should be less than or equal 6,000. We do the same process for, so we formulate all the constraints that we have. And then the next step, the fifth step, is to the non-negativity constraints, or to identify any upper or lower bounds on the decision variables. So in this case, we cannot produce negative softballs or baseballs. So we know that both the x1 and x2 should be greater than or equal 0. After we formulate the model, which is the most important part, then we can use Excel to implement our model in Excel and use the solver in Excel to solve this problem. So let me share my screen.
Kaylin, can you give Gazelle sharing rights?
She should be able to now.
Okay,
All right,
thanks.
perfect, thank you.
Should I stop sharing?
Okay, now I'm sharing.
Okay.
I hope so. There you go. Okay, so then we will also learn how to implement the model that we just formulated in Excel and solve it using Excel solver. So here, these are the decisions that we are trying to make. How many of each type of ball to produce? Then we know that the profit for each softball is $6, for baseball is $4.50, and then I write the function, our objective function here, which is so is x1, as you remember, times $6 plus this. This cell is for x2, reserved for x2, times. Oops, I can't click. Okay. Times E7, right? Which is 4.5. Now next, I type the exact same constraints that we formulated here in Excel. So this would be sum product. I hope you are familiar with sum product function. So what sum product does, it's basically same as this cell times this plus this times this. So sum product of these two, and I'm going to lock this and these two. Now I can simply copy this down and this will be some product of these and these two, and so on and so forth. So now I'm going to use this solver to help me find what's the maximum profit that we can have, and then decide how many of each balls to produce. So my objective function is in this cell. I specify it here. I'm trying to maximize, so we either maximize or minimize the objective function. My variable cells are here. That's that. And then I need to add the constraints. So as you remember, one of the constraints was that my decision variables should be greater than equal 0. And next, all these are the constraints that
Gazelle, you froze. Her computer is working too hard to solve the problems and capture her talking. Oh. Let's see if I can chat her quick.
Oh, well.
Uh,
She's doing that. Natalie, I am upset that you said that her class was your favorite class, and I thought I was number one.
Oh, it's
Ouch.
analytics. Finance is, Ahmad, I'm sure you prefer Dr. Twombly's class.
Nah, I will say, out of a lot of the people that have taken his classes, I've been one of the few that have enjoyed it. So
Exact. Finance versus
He's the only
analytics.
one. Of all the years, he's the only one.
Let's see if she can jump back on.
Yeah, of course. For the students that are here right now, I'm currently in Dr. Twombly's class. And last semester, I had the privilege of being in the optimization and decision-making class. And so if you guys have any more questions about that, I understand that like sometimes it could be really confusing, but trust me, the classes are so great here that you'll definitely get a hang of it right away. The professors are just great.
Awesome. Ahmad, is there something you want to share?
Yeah, I just say like my experiences has been very hands-on, especially I took their classes like pre-COVID, so I can't really tell about the situation right now, but I just know they were always helpful. Anytime you had a question that need to be answered, like you always go to them. It was an open door policy for the most part.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Gazelle,
I'm so
or just
sorry. My
that's okay.
computer restarted itself, and oh my God, everything closed. Maybe I can continue after Ahmed.
Sure.
I think,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I don't-
upload.
I just want to know what the answer is.
Oh, all right. So let me share my screen then.
Okay. Do you want to share yours?
share?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Yes.
It doesn't allow me though. I don't have access. Let's
How
see.
do I?
Oh, Caitlin, can you give her access again?
Yes, she should now.
She got closed.
Okay, let's see. So let's see what's the answer. Am I sharing my Excel screen now?
You're
All right,
good.
Cool. Oh, everything is, I have closed everything.
All right. It doesn't seem to want to work. Don't worry. Maybe we could circle back to it. Let's get through a few of
Okay,
these other
yeah, let's
slides
circle
and then we'll
back to it.
come back.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
you know, that's a little bit of what's going on. We have a lot of cool.
I'm sorry, John.
That's okay. We'll get that answer.
Yeah, that's just what
All
it
right.
is. Like a crossword puzzle.
Yeah, and then the next bit from the academic perspective that we wanted to share, Dr. Twombly was going to just share about how business students engage at the IPRO classes.
Well, the IPRO is an acronym for Interprofessional Project Courses. It actually started here at IIT a long time ago in the, I think, the late 1990s and the early 2000s, and other schools started to copy it. But what we do is we have our business students interact with architects, engineers, mathematicians, et cetera, and solve, in many cases, real world problems. And the business students add their expertise in marketing or finance or whatever, help come up with business plans, do all the wonderful stuff. And we require 2 of these, 3 credit hours each. Typically, the students don't take them until their junior or senior year because you don't really have business expertise until you've taken at least half of the required business core courses. So That's it. They do real
Absolutely.
well. And some of the companies, some of the students actually started their own companies. I think Ahmad might talk about something that he's done with the company that he's been working on. So anyway, I am.
Do you want to, Ahmad, do you want to share that now since we're talking about IPROs? I think it might be a good time.
Yeah, since we're talking about IPRO, I actually was able to found my own startup last semester, and it's interesting because it actually just started with like me and my teammates as just something we wanted to complete as a course, but we started to take it a little further, and we actually going forward steps to incorporating in a few months and developing a prototype. Yeah.
Wow. Can you, it sounds so top secret. Can you tell us what
Uh,
the area of the product is?
yeah, it's in health tech. So we're trying to create a smart insole that could track data of how physical therapy patients can help recover from injuries. To
Wow,
help them recover.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good. That's really cool. We wish you luck on that.
Thank you.
And then another kind of awesome opportunity at Illinois Tech and with the business school is thinking ahead to a co-terminal degree. So both Ahmad and Nayeli are on a co-terminal track. Ahmad is in analytics?
I'm in finance.
In finance, sorry. And Nayeli?
Marketing analytics.
Analytics. Okay, so I had them flipped, I had them reversed. But the benefits is that you can earn both a bachelor's and a master's degree in 5 years. So essentially, you'll start taking master's level classes in your senior year, maybe in your late junior year, and then you would complete both degrees after 5 years. You'll take up to 9 credit hours count toward both degrees, so you save some time. You save time in terms of the classes. And then in terms of saving dollars and money, you take the graduate courses at the undergraduate tuition rate. So you save credits and you save money because you're paying less for your graduate level coursework. And your undergraduate scholarship and financial aid gets applied to your master's level coursework in most situations. So there's a lot of benefits to this. As you can see, like 2 of our business students are taking advantage of it. And the number of students that are applying for co-terminal and pursuing a co-terminal degree is growing year over year. So it's just something that we like to share with our admitted students as they think about deciding before May 1st, which is just around the corner, what school they plan on going. This is a really good benefit at Illinois Tech overall. And the combination of programs that you can pursue at Stuart and across Illinois Tech are pretty awesome. So if you're studying business, you can layer in one of our master's classes, which is finance, analytics, management, environmental management, and sustainability. But you could also choose something that's an unpaired co-terminal. So if you wanted to pursue something potentially in computer science or something in the humanities or something in psychology, there are a lot of opportunities for you, or food sciences, let's say. There are a lot of options. We also have a new pairing at Stuart. Sorry, I forgot to mention it, but we also have a Master's of Technological Entrepreneurship, which provides you with design classes, business classes, and law classes. And it's a little bit of a shorter master's program, so it'll be easy to kind of add it into your bachelor's degree, but it helps you. So if you are someone like Ahmad who is working on a startup with their classmates, this master's program is designed to give you the skills to really get your startup off the ground and feel comfortable and knowledgeable to do so. So we have a lot of options, and that's just like a little bit. And as you enroll in classes and become a Stuart student, these are things that you can get advice from your advisor, John Twombly, or faculty members like Professor Haddadian, as well as at the master's level, we do have a dedicated academic advisor, Justine Grant. I can run through some of these quick slides. We have 2 great campuses at Illinois Tech that Stuart sits on. For your undergraduate, you're going to take all of your classes at the Nice campus. But if you are a co-terminal student and you start layering in those graduate classes, you will take campus at our downtown campus, which is at the Convisor Law Center. That's our building on the right picture. You can see that we're right in the heart of the city. And the 2 campuses are connected by buses, the red line and the green line. So you can really make it to the downtown campuses in about 30 minutes or less. There are tons of organizations and opportunities for you to engage with on campus. Stuart has a club called Stuart Investments where students are trading real dollars. So for someone like Ahmad who's interested in finance, I would anticipate he's hopefully a major or
I'm
a
a part
member.
of the organization. Yeah.
Stuart Investments. And I do want to say that our dean keeps touting at how well the students and the team are doing, right? You're getting a really high return on your investment. So it sounds like you're beating the S&P 500 every year. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, we just started our presentations throughout the different sectors within the stock market. So what we've been doing, we're doing a lot of in-depth analysis with just finding out what companies excel in the market currently.
Yep.
So for example, a group just presented on industrials and the communication sector. So they broke down companies such as like Facebook, Disney, and like Netflix, things that you wouldn't even consider to be in those sectors, but in reality, they play a part in that.
Awesome. Another example is our Board of Advisors mentorship program. This is an opportunity where you apply to be paired up with one of our board members at the business school. They're typically practitioners and professionals and entrepreneurs or CEOs, C-suite level executives, and you'll have the opportunity to be their mentee for a year. Our honor society is Beta Gamma Sigma, so if you really excel academically and you keep your grades up, you'll be asked, and hopefully you'll be able to join in a Beta Gamma Sigma, either at the undergraduate level or the graduate level. We also have a dedicated career management center. So in addition to the career services access that you have at the university level, as a Stuart student, you have access to a dedicated set of professionals. Helena Zenwa is our assistant dean. Shazad Hussein is our senior associate director. And they work around the clock to build connections with employers around the Chicago area and the nation, as well as run programming to engage our students to make them better at the job search, perfecting their resume, interview skills, networking tips, feeling comfortable, perfecting your elevator pitch. On-campus interviews, we host 2 career fairs every year, one in the fall and one in the spring, where we're connecting with employers for internships and job placement. So they're really doing a bang-up job of connecting our students and building the relationships with employers so that everyone knows how good a Stuart student is. And these are some of the employers that our students are landing jobs and internships at. And as a student, we have ways to keep you in the know and keep you connected. So we have our What's Next newsletter, which is our student-focused newsletter that goes out every Sunday night to keep you in check on what's happening the following week. And then also across the university, there is Illinois Tech Today, which gives you updates on lots of opportunities. So, checking your email, staying connected on social media networks is a great way to learn about opportunities to make your undergraduate experience as much as possible. John, did you want to speak on this?
Yeah, this is a wonderful picture of me advising 2 of our former students. They're alums now. But every semester, if you come here over the summer, I'll advise you for your fall, your first semester's courses. During that October, November, we'll get together for the second semester's courses. And then right now I'm doing it this week. We're actually advising for the students who are already here for the fall semester and summer. Well, actually, we have summer classes as well, but not in the business school. We really don't offer many business classes in the summer. So we just, I work with you. I prepare a program of study, a worksheet. I update it all the time, and you just meet with me, and you have to meet with me because you have to get this little pin. And if you don't have the pin, you can't register. And I withhold the pin until we discuss your courses. And that way, at least we talk twice a year, or email twice a year, communicate twice a year.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And they're, right now, during the pandemic, there's been Zoom sessions and email and phone calls. Typically, you can find Dr. Twombly in the IIT Tower on the 18th floor in room F31, right? So easy to remember, but that's where he's located. He has a nice corner office, so it's very comfortable for you to meet and kind of review your academics. And let's see, I'm just gonna check the time. So we still have time before we get to Q&A. I just wanted to leave another 5 minutes or so for
I can show
Nayeli.
you the answer if you want.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do the
Yeah.
answer. And then
All right.
Nayeli and Ahmad can just talk about some of their experiences and what they've been involved in on campus.
Hopefully it works this time. Okay, so we implemented the model in Excel and I added everything in Solver. I specified where the objective function formula is. We are maximizing. Here are my decision variables, and then I specified the constraints that we have. And all we need to do, we make sure that this is on simplex LP, the engine is simplex LP, and we solve it. All right. Okay. So the maximum profit that they can make it's $6,900, and that is by making 400 softballs and 1,000 baseballs. And by doing that, they are using up all the leather that they have available, as well as all the nylon. They use this much core. They use out of the for labor they have 3,500 hours, they use 3,000 hours, and so on and so forth. So these are the type of problems. This is the simplest one that we learn in the business 321 class.
Awesome, that's awesome. It's pretty cool. Excel is a super powerful tool, and it's exciting to really learn how to use it and manipulate it. So thanks for sharing that with us, Gazelle.
Sure.
And yeah, I think we'll just kick it over to our current students and let them share a little bit, maybe about some things that you've been involved in or an internship, Nayeli. I know that you had a couple of interviews coming up, or where you're at, what's going on.
Yeah, of course. So my biggest thing that I stress to prospective students, or even students at Illinois Tech, doesn't have to be in business, but it's imperative that you take advantage of the career services that are provided here. Especially me as a freshman, I immediately went to the Stuart School of Business advisors, and I told them, I said, "Hi, I'm Nayeli, I'm a first year. Please advise me on how to go about this process." Half of the people that I knew didn't even have a resume by the time they got into college, and one of those people were me. And so they had me get my resume, and actually I got an internship at a startup company called Snips Media as a influencer marketing intern my first year, after my first year of college, which is pretty rare, I would say, amongst the first years. So that just goes to show how great that my advisors were, and I definitely love that about the business school. Right now, actually, I did a couple of interviews. Thank you, Dr. Twombly. Your professors here, you get to know them like this. Dr. Twombly was so nice enough to remember me when he heard about an opening for a Netflix marketing internship. He sent me an email and saying, "Hey, I thought you'd be the perfect person, perfect candidate." I applied, didn't get the job, but that's okay. Kept working hard, and now I do have another internship at a corporation called Exactly. There's sales performance management, B2B marketing. So that's what I have lined up in the summer. I'm also part of 3 clubs on campus. Hyperloop organization, Union Board, which is all the big events, so homecoming, spring formal, and fun events throughout the year. And then I'm also a part of Life Latinos Involved in Further Education.
Cool. Just to tell you about my story, currently I just secured a internship at BMO Financial, and I would say that IIT played a huge part in that. Just like Nayeli said, they helped out a lot with just forming my resume, making sure I get involved in a lot of things. As far as the clubs that I'm a part of the chess club recently, and golf. I'm a part of the men's basketball team. So just as a student athlete, that's a good way for me to show my discipline and being able to juggle a lot of things throughout campus, being able to have like both sides as a student and an athlete. I also think that helped a lot with just being able to network and working in teams, because whatever environment that you have your career in, you got to understand like you're working with people that may be having different perspectives than you. So it's key to pair that. And like I mentioned before, I was a part of Stewart Investments and as well as the CEO organization. And it's really helped me kind of pursue my interests. And I've always felt like I've been an ambitious person. And I feel like I've been on the right track ever since I've stepped foot on it. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention is the co-terminal program has been extremely helpful because I actually started some of my courses for that this semester.
Wow.
Instead of being on pace to graduate in 5 years, I'm actually on pace to graduate in 4 years. So
Wow. And a student athlete, you're not messing around.
yeah.
I'm very impressed. The both of you impress me every time that we touch base and that I hear about all the new things that you're doing. So it's awesome. And you really show all that like you can really be, as a Stuart student at Illinois Tech, and it's super exciting. We'd love to hear your questions. We have about 15 minutes. I think we still have 2 people on the line with us, hopefully. Liliana and Alexandra. Feel free to unmute yourselves. Otherwise, I can check what's going on in our chats. Or I'm not, let's see. I'm not seeing my, where the, oh, there it is, chat. Let's see. I'll just message everyone.
Allie, if one gets a business degree here, what type of salary or what type initial salary might one expect?
Yeah, I think, according to pay scale, average salary for a business student when they graduate is roughly $58,000. So I think that's, a pretty strong, and that's without the co-terminal degree. That's without a master's degree leveled, layered on. So if you are a co-terminal student, there's definitely that cap could be a little bit higher, but right now we're ranking at about 58,000. And that's great. That's a really competitive salary as a graduate. John, do you want to add anything about
No, I
there?
was just going to ask you, because you do this a lot, but I understand that Illinois Tech was rated as one of the top universities in the state, if not in the Midwest, if not in the country, in terms of return on investment for the type of thing we're getting.
Absolutely.
So it's a great school, and to be in the Chicago market, especially when things reopen after the pandemic, I think you're going to see a lot of activity here. It's a great place for companies to locate. I think people are going to come back to offices, maybe not as much as before, but it's not going to be all empty. So it's a great location. It's a great place.
Totally. And Alexandra just asked that. She asked if most IIT graduates stay in Chicago for employment. I think it really, I think it depends. We are building a lot of our networking from Stuart on the graduate level and undergraduate levels here in Chicago. But we have seen students, leave. A couple of years ago, Anthony Thurston graduated and he worked for McDonald's, and right, John? And then I think another employer, right. And he's been down in Texas. I don't know where he is now. That was like 5 years ago, but he left Chicago and he moved to Texas and got a job and a career out of Texas. So I know that I have some other finance students who winded up in New York. So it really runs the gamut. So no, I wouldn't say that you're pigeonholed to the Chicago market. If your aspirations and desires, are pulling you to different parts of the country or the globe, we are here to help build those connections for you. Oh, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, the MS Finance program is well known throughout the United States, if not the world. So some of those students, and again, that's to be a co-terminal in finance, are going to go to New York, are going to go to, one of my former students is now in California, right? And he worked for years here in Chicago, but he just got bought out by some company in California. They just wanted him and they paid him big dollars, and he went.
Yeah, thanks, Kaylin. And then our Career Services Center at the university level and at the Stuart level, they've been working hard to pull together data as it relates to our career outcomes. So you can say here that, let's see, what does it say? 88.2% of our Stuart graduates have landed full-time employment. So it's pretty great. And then nearly 6% are continuing their education, and then 6% are still looking for jobs. So this is a pretty cool dashboard to take a look at too, as an admitted student, as you're thinking about your next steps. And Kaylin confirmed we are #1 in Illinois for financial aid and for return on investment. So, choosing a tech school, choosing a business degree, obviously our engineering programs are great, but business is an incredible major that really sets you up not only for life, but for your career and professional trajectory. You're really gonna make your money back over time. And then as you move forward, if you come back for an MBA, those stats are looking even better. If you come back for an MBA, you're looking at well into the 6 figures after that. Great. I don't see any other questions, so we can, certainly wrap up a little bit early. Thank you everyone for your time. Nayeli, Ahmad, John, and Gazelle, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Kaylin, do you have any housekeeping you wanna close up with?
Yeah, so just so everyone knows, we will be sending out the recording. So if you missed anything, your internet glitched, we know what happens with everything going on with working from home and being at home all the time. So you will get a copy of this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to our office. We're more than happy to answer those as we quickly approach May 1st, like Allie said. So we know it's just around the corner. Our admission counselors are more than happy to provide financial aid breakdowns, really discuss all the ins and outs and any questions that you have. So, don't hesitate to use this as a resource. That's what we're here for, to answer all your questions. And thank you all for attending. Don't forget, there are tons of more webinars happening all throughout the rest of the month. So definitely check those out if you haven't had the opportunity to just yet.
Awesome. Great. And we're here on the line. I'll pop my email in the chat in case Alexandra has any questions.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Natalie, thank you. Ahmad, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nayeli and Ahmed. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.